My next guest has been studying holistic therapy for 20 years. Healing, Reiki, reflexology and more all now form part of her portfolio of skills, an aspect of which she's taking to Kolkata in India shortly to work with street children. I'm delighted to welcome Gerry Kelly to Late Lunch. Gerry, lovely to see you.
Thanks very much for inviting me, John.
Oh, you're very welcome to the show this afternoon. It's just funny the way things work. You sort of tie in away with Bobby, you know what we were talking about there just at the end of the conversation. I'm curious, India, street children, why? Where has this come from?
I suppose really the fact that I do healing and I work with people on a personal level, so you're trying to connect with people on a personal level, where nowadays you're running around so much, there's so much stress, there's so much everything, we forget how to connect. So I work with my healing work, that's how I do. I connect with people to help them heal themselves, give them the space so that they can work through stuff, whether it's a physical or emotional, because it's all connected, and to empower them, because a lot of the time when you're stuck you feel disempowered, you know, you're depressed, lonely, lost. So working with healing, you're working with the holistic, so you're working with all aspects of the human body, and that really appeals to me, that I could make a difference.
Okay, so what you're talking there about what you do and what your experience over the 20 years has brought to you, and then you in turn to others.
Yes.
You want to bring this to the streets of Kolkata now. How did that happen though? What's the link?
The link would have been, because I do healing already, I had heard about pranic healing and I decided to just look at it. And while I was doing that, I was asked, there was a group of healers going out there, and they asked me would I be interested in going, and absolutely. I mean, it's a lovely thing to be able to give back to people that are really in a really bad place, like on such a deep level. And I'm hoping it'll be an experience to grow me as well as help those on a personal level, to help them with meditation and grounding themselves, and just to give them life skills.
Okay, that they haven't got at the moment.
Yes.
What is pranic healing?
Pranic healing is working with the energy field in the body. We're all made up of energy. So pranic healing works on any more than Reiki or anything else. You're working on the energy body, okay? And when we get stressed or when we get upset, our energy body shuts down. It either gets blocked. Sometimes there's too much energy in an area. Sometimes there's not enough energy in an area. So the pranic healing is not invasive at all. It's hands-off healing. Okay, so you're working on your energy body basically. There's no physical contact. You're clearing your energy field of blockages, and then you're taking, if there's too much energy in an area, you're pulling it out, and if there's not enough, you're putting it back in. So you're bringing about balance. So your energy field gets blocked before your physical body shows up as an illness.
So this is a precursor to somebody having a physical illness.
Yes.
And this is something that can lead to physical illness as
Yes.
well. And you can do this without touching all that? You can manoeuvre the energy fields in people?
Yes. The energy field can actually be photographed now with Carillion photography. And that shows that this energy body is actually there. And if you talk to people who might have lost a leg or a limb, they can still feel that leg at times, even though the leg is gone, because of the energy is still there. So with the Carillion photography, you can actually see the energy body around a person. So it's there. So if we're working from that premise that the energy body has different levels on it, and if you have negative thoughts, they go into negative emotions, and that can create stress in the body, and that then impacts on a physical level into the body.
So obviously language is not a barrier here. You can work on this with anybody, because there will be a language barrier when you go out there as well. That doesn't matter.
No, that doesn't matter at all.
Okay,
Absolutely.
That's interesting. Why Hope Foundation? Why them in particular?
It was children. Just the fact that there's the level of poverty that's out there is incomprehensible to what we have here, not taken away from people being in a bad place here. But there's over 250,000 people living rough, children mostly, in India every night.
My God, it's massive, isn't it?
That's massive, like when you think about it. And they have no support whatsoever, and they have no families, they have nothing. So to be able to help as many as we can on different levels, like the Hope Foundation works, you know, with protection and healthcare and nutrition, educating them, life skills and vocational training, emergency response. So it has over 60 projects running out there at the moment.
So you'll be one strand or aspect of this.
Absolutely.
In what you're doing with the other healers who are going out there.
Yes.
I see. Did you have to raise funds to go?
Yes, we did. We had to raise funds. We had to raise €3,000 to, and all this money is going directly to the Hope Foundation. Even the travelling expenses and everything else was done separately by ourselves. We're funding that.
Yes.
So the company, none of the money we've collected is actually going towards.
Yes.
Like the €3,000 is actually going towards the children.
It goes to the projects
Directly.
on the ground
Yes.
in Kolkata as well. So that's really fantastic.
Yeah.
And then you have to look after your own travel and all that
That's
type of thing
yeah,
as well.
separately,
Have
yeah.
you the jabs got?
I got all the jabs. I did indeed. Wasn't looking forward to them, but did.
So that is sorted. So when do you go?
We're going on Tuesday.
Right, so it's imminent now
It's
at this
very
stage.
imminent, yeah,
And how long are
very
you
exciting.
going for?
We'll be back late the 19th or 20th, so 12 days, you could say.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do your family think of this and what Mum is doing now? And
Well, they're used to me doing
how they...
coming out with these sorts of things anyway, but they've been extremely supportive.
Right.
And, yeah, they're sort of excited for me, even though my daughter's getting married a couple of weeks later, so she's saying, Mommy, don't get sick, make sure you come back. But other than that, yeah, they're proud of what I'm doing, and they were very supportive, collecting money and raising funds and everything else, so it was great.
God, I even admire you more. God, you're going out and a wedding imminent just a couple of weeks
Yeah.
later. Fair dues to you, Katrina. I really do have to say that. Do you feel you're prepared for what you're going to encounter, or have Hope done anything in that area to prepare you?
Well, they've given us guidelines on what it may be like, and to be safe at all times, and there'll be a guide with us and stuff. At the end of the day, I suppose I've been lucky in the fact that I've been to Thailand and I've been to South Africa. I've seen poverty. I haven't worked with them, but I mightn't be as much of a shock as some of the others that mightn't have seen
Yes.
it. But like that, I haven't dealt with it on a human level, human to human, just connecting with people and children in particular, and just it's hard. Like when I was in Bangkok, like I found it very hard to see children. You're coming out of a beautiful shopping centre, state of the art, and you're walking over children that are lying on the ground on newspaper with half an apple beside them. And just the inequality of the world, and to make a difference. At the end of the day, it's not about material things. We connect on a human level.
Yes.
We're all human, and we all have the same fears and hopes and dreams. And these children are just left on their own with no defences, and it must be very scary and very lonely. And so to be able to give something back on any level is a privilege. I'm very privileged to be in a position to do this.
And you're really looking forward to going. I can see that myself at this stage. Let me head to a short break on Late Lunch. Isn't she great? She's heading for Kolkata next week with the Hope Foundation to help children who have nothing, really nothing in the world. Katrina Kelly's with me on Late Lunch, and when we come back, I'm going to talk a bit more to her about her holistic, it was hard to say that, her holistic journey for the last 20 years. Katrina Kelly is from Trim in County Meath, and she's with me on Late Lunch this afternoon. She's heading to Kolkata in India to help unfortunate children with the Hope Foundation. It's next Tuesday, away for 12 days. She's a very interesting lady. I love your website, Soul to Soul. SOUL, the number 2, SOLE. Soul and soul with the 2 in the middle. Clever.
Thank you.
I really like it. I was in having a browse round it this morning. Tell us about this journey of yours. I mentioned 20 years ago. Was something with your son prompted this, was it?
Yeah, there was a health issue when he was a child, and I was tired going to different specialists and not getting very far with them. And a friend of mine suggested reflexology, and I didn't even know what it was, to be honest with you. But I went and tried it, and it actually worked for him. And I was sort of going, well, if he needs it, I may as well learn how to do it. Not realising I was throwing myself into the deep end. But it made such an impact on me that to realise that your emotions and your physical body can actually, you can heal yourself if you work on your emotions and, work through emotional stuff instead of holding on to it. And that impacts on your physical body if you don't work on it. So it was really, it was really when I saw how he improved that I started to work on that, and the journey followed on.
one after another.
other. So I
moved along with
I moved
this.
along with it. Yeah. So the healing. So I ended up doing stress management and a bit of counselling, because when people come into you, they're coming into you on a human level, on a basic level, where they're distressed, they're worried, they're upset, they have physical issues. Maybe the doctor doesn't have time to listen to them and give them that space. So in providing that space for them, you're already allowing people to have the power to empower themselves, because, you know, a lot of the time when you provide that space, you can work it out yourself. So it's about seeing each person is different, and each person reacts differently to blockages in the energy system. Reflexology is a wonderful physical tool for clearing blockages in the energy field. Reiki is another healing module that I use to work on the energy field again. I would have done other sorts of healing, shamanic work, stress management. So that's why I call it soul to soul, because it really is a holistic approach. It's not just dealing with an ailment,
Yes.
because it's connected to everything else.
And the soul is the physical, SOLE, and the soul is within as well.
us
So
as
you
well.
connect the two together. You talk about balance a lot.
Yeah.
Balance in life.
Yes.
Very important.
Extremely important. Yes, everything is in balance. Everything works. There's always a balance, even in nature. There's a growth and and then there's a death and a rebirth. So it's about, energy never stays still. It always moves. So we're always changing. We're always growing, and it's to have an awareness around that. It's to have an awareness that, you know, we're on a journey, and if you look on it that way, it makes life much easier to get through. If you realise, you know, I'm stuck at the moment, I need a little bit of help. That's fine. There's no problem. We're all in that. We've all been stuck, you know, and it's learning how to be brave enough to take that step and ask someone, and get yourself into that space where you can connect to another person on a human level that will listen to you and have the skills to help you heal yourself and move forward in your life. And to look back on then and go, what did I learn from that? How did that make me a better person? Or how did that influence me? And every experience teaches you about what's for you and what's not for you, what works for you, what doesn't. So if you have a bad experience, you could look at it in a way that, you know, I've learned from that, I now know what I don't want in my life. So our thoughts really do create our reality. So it's about being creative and being aware of your thoughts, because we've all got about 60,000 a day running around our head, you know.
I think you can multiply that by 3 in this old head you're looking at now. The other thing, besides talking about what you're talking about there were a couple of things I picked out from you and what you do. Talk to me about this. Is it Kangen or Kangen water?
Kangen water.
Kangen water.
Kangen water. As a healer, I work with a few products that would enhance the health of people, but they're all natural products. They're all, I like science, so I'll go into the study, the background, to make sure that it makes sense to me on a scientific level, that it works for me. And a friend of mine about 4.5 years ago said to me, will you try this water? Now, I gave up tea and coffee years ago, and we're doing very little of it now altogether, unless it's herbal and stuff. And
do you feel better just on that one? Do you feel better for that?
I do, absolutely.
In what way?
I was drinking an awful lot of black coffee and black tea. I was getting very stressed. I wasn't sleeping properly. I was getting headaches. When I came off that, I found I felt a lot better. And then you need to drink more water, because most of us are dehydrated, and every illness in the body starts with dehydration in the cell. You have dehydration, and then you have inflammation on every illness in the body. Okay, so to me, if your body's made up of 70% water, the quickest way to have some impact on your life would be to change the type of water that you drink. So what happened, the Kangen water for me, the machine is a filter machine that changes the structure of the water. It actually fills it full of oxygen and antioxidants. Now, an antioxidant is something that keeps you young, keeps you healthy, okay? So green tea would be a very strong example of an antioxidant. Well, the Kangen water on the 9.5 pH would actually give you 8 times more antioxidants than a glass of green tea. So if the water is also called, it does something to the water called microclustering, which reduces the molecule of water and makes it smaller, so it goes straight into your system. So all the oxygen and all the energy that's in the water can go straight into your system to start working and hydrate your body. Okay.
And where do you get this? This sounds like a miracle water I'm hearing about today. Do you buy it in bottled, or you mentioned some machine there? No.
Yeah, no, it's a filter machine because the water is better drinking straight up, pure
Okay,
water.
so would you take water from a well if you're connected to a well at home or a public water supply and put it through this machine?
You just put the machine onto your tap.
That's it?
That's it.
And it does the rest?
And it gives you 7 different types of water.
Okay.
And each of the waters, they call it miracle water in Japan, and because it was the Japanese that discovered it over 40 years ago.
Right.
And
Kangen.
Kangen water, yeah.
Kangen water. I'm fascinated. I have to find out more about this, but I have to talk to you about something else, and we'll be gone and we'll be up to news at 3 o'clock. Stem Renew.
Yeah.
What is this?
That's another product that I've come across in relation to working on. Everybody has stem cells in their body, and they go to the area that's ill, and the body allows it to. The stem cells can change into any other cell in the body to help heal the body. So as we get older, as we get into our 20s, and stress and everything else that we do to our bodies, taking in chemicals with food and plastic and everything else, the receptors on the cell wall don't work as well in relation to the stem cells. So they can't send the signal to the stem cells for our own stem cells to kick in and go to where the healing is needed. So I've come across a natural product made with 5 ingredients with a Canadian company, American company, that actually reactivates the cell walls, the stimulant on the cell walls, to actually reactivate your own stem cells. So for instance, what got me interested in it was I would have suffered with a chest. I sounded like a dog. I'd be barking like a seal, right? For the past 4 or 5 years. And every time around this time of year, I'd get a very bad cough. And I mean really bad. And as the years were going along, I was on the antibiotics the first couple of years. The last couple of years, I was on antibiotics and steroids. And I was on 2 or 3 because they weren't working. And even when I took them and it eased off a bit, I still had a cough. So I started taking the Stem Renew last Christmas. And like that again, I was on it, maybe I was taking 2 a day, and was on it about a month or so, and I got the cough. Went to the doctor, got the steroids and antibiotics, and walked out of the chemist and said, what am I doing? Hello? This doesn't work, or I wouldn't still be doing it. So I said, I'll try the Stem Renew, I'll take more. So I ended up taking 6 a day, and fish oil helps it go around your body faster. And I have not taken I haven't taken an antibiotic or a steroid since. So it definitely worked for me on that level.
And your voice is crystal clear, and you have had none of this at all.
No, it's gone.
That you had year on year.
Yeah. So from working with clients, I've seen a lot of different issues being cleared up with the help, doing the healing and everything else, and using natural products if they're required. They're not always required. Sometimes you can do the healing without anything. But I mean, some people are lacking in certain things, and you can enhance their immune system and stuff like that. So that's why I use other products now and again to enhance the healing and connecting to people.
Isn't your work fascinating?
I love it.
I can see that with you. I just see your enthusiasm and your love for it, and what you're discovering. You're learning all the time.
Yes.
And you're passing this on.
Yes. I taught reflexology. I ran a school teaching iTech courses with another girl for 3 years, and I loved it. Just to see the progression of a person and them learning how to look after their body, teaching anatomy and physiology, and then teaching the actual reflexology and how it works. And it was really it's an empowering. I'm growing all the time as I'm working with these people. I'm learning. I'm not, it's not just them improving. I'm improving.
Lucky people in Kolkata that you come across over the next couple of weeks. Let me wish you well with the trip. We'll catch up when you come back. You've been fascinating to talk to today on the show. And I'll remind you that the website is Soul to Soul. And it's the SOLE first, is
yes.
it? Number 2,
yes.
SOUL
yeah.
.ie. Check it out. Lovely to meet you on the show. Katrina, wish you well on your fascinating journey to India. Come home safe, and we'll talk down the road.
Thanks very
a million.
much, Sherry. Thank you very much.